it would be really glad you can write and we can have conversation, or you can use better microphones. It would be really, really nice to speak to you while we are doing this.
This call is now.
Okay, so welcome to this session of MGM 029, which is the subject advertising and public relations. With permission of all those in the class, I have started the recording, and this class would be recorded and it would be present on the LMS system for benefit of those who are unable to attend for their prior commitments. So at the outset, I think today it is the Dashera in India, which is a festival that we do celebrate with a great pomp and show. So to begin with, I will wish you happy Dashera. I really don't know if you know what the festival is, what the significance of this festival is. I think we got a message in the group. I didn't see any recording video on my portal LMS. I don't know what's wrong. Don't have any idea where you can find it. Many person. Somebody is writing on the group, so so, Elena, okay. So, Dashera is a festival that we celebrate before the major festival, which is Diwali in India. Dashera is actually, it signifies the win of the evil, the win of the good over the evil. So there are some characters in our mythology which are religious characters. So the god somehow defeated the demon today, and because the demon was killed, the demon was wrong. So the god killed the demon, and therefore we celebrate how the wrong or the evil or the misdeeds always uh, get defeated and the good always wins. So today we are celebrating the win of the good over the evil, and it is called the Shera or uh, Vijay Dashmi. Vijay signifies victory. Dashmi is 10th. So it is the 10th day in the Hindi calendar or the Indian calendar. It is the 10th day, and we're celebrating this festival of victory today. So Lena, wish you a happy Dashera before we begin today's class. And now I'll begin today's class. I hope you were able to see the recording or something of yesterday's classes. Yesterday we did block 1 of MGM 0 to 9. Today we'll do block 2. But we'll have to do unit 4 of block 1 because we were only able to cover 3 units yesterday. So today, in whatever time we have, we'll be covering these 5 units. I think it will be approximately 20 minutes per unit. So I'll begin with a very interesting unit, which is advertising agency, its structure and functioning, which is unit 4, which is part of block 1, which is the theoretical concepts of advertising. So Lena, should I start with this presentation for your benefit? So you would, I don't know if you would have an idea of what an advertising agency is. How does the profession function? So just to brief you on this, I'll just take 10 minutes in this brief chapter because the next block we discuss all the departments of the ad agency in detail. Okay. So an advertising agency is a service business which is dedicated to creating, planning, handling advertising, sometimes even the other forms of promotion for the client. So any business that wants any persuasive or advertising activities, they are handled by the advertising agency. An ad agency is independent from the client. It provides an outside point of view to the effort of selling the client's products or services. So usually people do have these questions that why would we need an advertising agency and why would not we advertise on our own? So why an external agency? So for example, Elena, if you have a product, say you are a cosmetic brand, so you would know so much about your brand. So why can't you directly make the ads there? Why do you need to hire an external agency for that? So the answer to this is because you might specialize in making cosmetic products, but you would not specialize in promotion. Somebody specializes in filmmaking, but how to promote that film, an agency specializes in that. So they have an expertise. It's an outside resourcing as possible for them because it's their core job. They can objectively do the planning for your brand because you will be very passionate and you would be subjective about your own brand. The agency, they would have an objective view on it, and they are specialized in this job. Now there are many types of ad agencies. So there are some full service agencies or specialized agencies. Full service agencies take care of everything from the nascent stage of building your brand to kind of launching it, to taking it to the audience, communicating it to the audience. Specialized agencies can be who only do the creative, who only do media, agencies who only specialize in, say, FMCG products or service industry, right? And ad agencies can also vary from very small, boutiques where are 1 or 2 person shops to larger, medium-sized agencies, independent agencies, even global national or multi-agency conglomerates. So from small one-man army, it can be a huge, multifaceted and multinational kind of an agency. So it can just vary depending on which agency it is. Now, a very important term in advertising and in advertising agency is account. What is account? So, in advertising, account doesn't mean budgets or accounts. In advertising business, a client's job is referred to as an account. The business that the agency handles means they're treated as accounts. So all the clients or the businesses are called accounts. Usually, different agencies have expertise in handling different kinds of accounts. There might be an agency that specializes in consumer durable advertising. Some might just specialize in fashion brands or, uh, you know, FMCGs. So these can be different agencies who have specialization in different kind of accounts. Some might just understand the defense much better, so they would specialize in defense clients. These kinds of things. Now, whatever the agency is, if it is a smaller agency or a bigger agency, it can broadly be categorized and divided into these 5, 6 departments: accounts planning, client servicing department, creative department, production, media planning, research, and administrative. So if it is a one person who is handling a client, the person would have to perform all these operations on her own or his own. But if you have larger agencies, you would have the specific departments who would handle these specific operations. So I will discuss one by one very briefly these operations, and then in the next units, we will discuss in the next block account planning, client servicing specifically in detail, creative in detail, and media planning or research in detail. So we'll discuss these 4 departments in detail in the next unit. To begin with, account planning, client servicing. Account planner is the bridge between the business and the creative side of the marketing campaign. So the business people contact the account planner, the person understands their needs and takes it to the creative department. So this person kind of interacts with the client and also interacts with the creative part of the agency. The job of an account planner or a client servicing personnel is, this person is member of the agency team who is an expert through background training or experience or attitude at working with certain brands, and just not the market research. They also solve a client's advertising problems by liaising with other departments of the agency. Key duties of an account planner in an advertising agency involve creation of a marketing strategy, bringing the consumer to the forefront of the process, working with consumers as partners in process of developing advertising. And what are the typical abilities that an account planner must possess? Account planner obviously is a person who is an extrovert, who is interested in meeting people, talking to the consumers, who can bridge the understanding of the consumer and also their own personal. So, account planner's job is to understand and draw insightful conclusions not only from the consumer but also from the brand side. So this is kind of an essential attribute that a person would need. They would want, they of course should be intelligent, should have strong observational skills, they should be able to think and conceptualize. Of course you have to be a team player if you are an advertising person, and you, if you're strong in journal knowledge, if you're strong in market research, then you would make a good account planner. So account planner prepares a creative brief for the creative department. They are present the advertising, they present the creatives to the client, they take the client feedback, then they come back to the creative department. So with that licensing, they are able to tell the creative department what the client wants, and they are able to tell the client what the creative department has given as insights and as products. So these people are, you can say, they are consumers representatives, they are also the clients representatives, they are also responsible for coordinating between the creative media production staff. Throughout the creative process, an account planner or a client servicing person is present, though they are not involved in the creative process, but I mean, they're not involved in making the creative, but in giving the brief and taking the feedbacks, they of course are involved. So I hope it's making some sense. So when we're talking of this ad agency, the first kind of department that we discussed is the account planner or the client servicing department. Now we come to the second role that an agency fulfills, and who are the people in this agency? These are the creative department. I'll just very, very quickly run through it because, as I said, we'll be discussing these departments in detail in the next block. So, creative department, as the name says, these are the people who create the actual ads. From the core of an ad agency, they form actually the core of the ad agency. If they wouldn't were to create, then who would actually be able to see those ads? So these people create the ads. Now, the creative department consists of many kinds of people: the copywriters, art directors, creative directors. So all these people together make the creative department. So the first is a copywriter. We will discuss in unit 7 the details of writing a copy. Who is a copywriter? Copywriting is the process of writing the words that promote a business, an opinion, idea, person, as in that promote an account in an advertising agency. It may be used as plain text, radio, television advertisement, variety of other media, but whatever is written there in terms of the text, when whatever media is a copywriter's job. The main purpose of writing this marketing copy, promotional text, is to persuade the listener or the reader to act, as in to buy a product, to subscribe to a certain viewpoint. Other people in a creative department are art directors. Art directors are mostly responsible for the visual look and feel of the creative product. The copywriter has the ultimate responsibility for verbal and textual content, and the art director has the responsibility for visual look and feel. So both are responsible for coming up with big, effective, persuasive ideas. Art directors may also oversee a team of junior designers, image developers, production artists. So there can be many other kind of people in the creative department who can be a part of the art director's team. Then there are creative directors. Creative directors oversee the design of branding and advertising for a client. They ensure that new branding and advertising fits into the client's requirement. So actually, the creative directors oversee creative service agencies or departments. Ultimately, they're responsible for the quality of the final creative work. Now, as you can see, that department has many people. It's just not one person, and these can be people on different ranks with different expertise. So the working of a creative department or even the agency as a whole acts like people are formed into teams. They can be permanent for partnerships, or they can be teams based on projects. Where they have to they have to generate creative ideas. They have to represent the proposition. So frequently, the creative department can also work with outside designers or production studios to develop and implement ideas. Okay. Now we come to the production department. After the client has told the client servicing person what they want, after the account planner has been able to plan, give the briefs to the creative department, after the creative department has actually been able to come up with what ad we will have, you would want the production of this ad. So at times there can be in-house production departments in the agency, or some agencies might just outsource the production jobs to other more skilled producers. So they can be producers who can be outsourced, they can be models, jingle writers, singers, camera people. They can either be in agency or they can be outsourced. Excuse me. So the production department, as the name signifies, is responsible for the final production of the advertisement copy. It can either be the jingle if it is a radio ad, or a video if it's a video ad. Right? Usually, outsourcing is done from experts in different spheres for the production. The final production depends on this department. Execution of the idea is given by the arts people in the creative department, but the production is done at this stage. So, to be involved in the production department, what kind of expertise do people have? People who have contacts with the suppliers of various creative media. For example, they will be able to advise upon or negotiate with printers or models or model coordinators if you have to produce anything for the client. Who are the personnel in the production department? Directors, producers, model coordinators, models, set designers, singers, even location finders, prop managers. So this kind of people are so an advertisement is if it's a video ad, it's no less than a film. It's just a 30-second or a 10-second film. So any staff or any personnel that are involved in filmmaking would be involved here. If it's a print ad, if it's a radio ad, so that kind of strength of people is required in this department also. Now, friends, after we have made the ad, it has now been produced. Now we have the ad in our hand, be it a print ad or a web ad or a TV ad or an outdoor ad. Now comes the job of where do we place this ad to earn the maximum mileage, to get the best return on investment. Where do we place this ad? This is decided by the media planning department. Making the advertisement reach the target audience is what the media planning department ensures. So their job is that they're responsible for selecting media for advertisement placement on behalf of the clients. The main aim of a media planner is to assist the clients in achieving the business objectives through the advertising budgets by recommending the best possible use of various media platforms. There is always a specific budget that the client is working on. Now, within that budget, how do you ensure that you get the maximum mileage? This is what the media planning department is there to kind of ensure. Roles of the media planning department personnel are analyze the target audience, because you have to know who my target is. We discussed this in detail yesterday in unit 2, which was the unit on target audience, right? So keeping abreast of the media developments, which media is the maximum being followed, read by my target audience, reading the market trends, understanding the motivations of consumers. I hope I'm kind of making some sense while I'm discussing this. Oh, oh, we have also one more person who has joined the class. Welcome, Mustafa. I'm glad you were here yesterday also. Thank you for joining in. So we are discussing the structure of an ad agency, which you would have realized by now. Right? So understanding the motivations of the consumers, which often includes the psychology or neurosciences, are jobs of media planners. They deal with different kinds of advertisements, which is above the line channels such as TV, print, radio, outdoor, or the below the line channels in store marketing, digital media, product placement. These are emerging kind of communication channels for the purpose of ensuring the client's advertising budget is well spent. How do you think that you can become a media planner? If you like numbers, if you're fond of stats, if you're good at maths, then you can probably become a media planner. You have to be well versed with the latest calculation softwares, abreast with the current trends in media, awareness of your target audience, and good understanding of the client's strategy would come in as handy qualities. So for the client servicing person to be able to crack an account, for the account planner to be able to service the client properly, for the creative people to make creatives, for the media planner to be able to place advertisements in proper media, one underlying thing is extremely important, which is the research. So sometimes you might have specific research departments in the agency, or you might outsource the research. Research involves gathering information regarding industry, competition, customer, product, services, and presenting findings in verbal forms or in written forms with recommendations. So, if you have a specific research department, okay, or marketing research agencies are in plenty where they do marketing research for their clients. So, advertising research is a specialized form of marketing research. Researchers want to find out what makes people tick, why an ad is selling, why people would actually keep buying their product again and again is what the research is ensuring. Research can be conducted to optimize advertisements for any medium, or to customize ads, to syndicate, pre-testing, post-testing research. All these are types of research. Researchers involve their inputs at every stage of the product and to inform and inspire creative ideas that guide and validate the resulting campaigns and consumers' interest. And therefore, the research is indispensable for any kind of product to look good. Now, friends, you have so many people in an ad agency who looks after all these people. So the administrative department or the human resource department, the HR department, looking after the personnel and the business flow of the agency is part of this department. They regulate the flow of work, they increase an agency's efficiency and profitability through reduction of false job starts. Everybody's working in a team, they are working in tandem. So this department kind of ensures that they are all in one line. The personnel in it are typically, it is headed by a traffic manager. In smaller agencies without a dedicated traffic manager, any one employee can be handed over the responsibility for managing the workflow, gathering cost estimates, answering the phone. You know, large agencies, however, might have a dedicated traffic department of say 7 to 10 people. Okay. So broadly, this is about an ad agency. Some of the very big advertising groups of the world, which are huge conglomerates, which have agencies in almost many countries. WPP Group, Publicis, Interpublic, Omnicom Group, Aegis, Havas, all these are big groups. So if you would like to take jobs in any of them, so these are advertising agencies. These are some of the big advertising agencies of the world, like in Omnicom Group, there are many of them: BBDO, TBW, Anthem. WPP Group has Grey, WT, JWT, Ogilvy and Mather, Young and Rubicon. This all is WPP Group. Then you have Into Public Group, Publicis Group, and some of the very, very well-known agencies are part of these groups. Well-known Indian ad agencies, which you won't be bothered about because in India, which agencies are really doing good work, you have it on the screen. So, friends, very, very briefly, I just wanted to tell you what an advertising agency looks like, who are the people who work there. Now, I really wish that you get interested in the subject, you go yourself, you grow so much that you get employment in any of these agencies, or maybe you can start an agency of your own. With this, I conclude the block 4. I would really appreciate some feedback from both of you. Uh, if you would speak to me, I would be really glad. I would know where I'm going repetitive, what I have to do better. So this here ended our block 2. Sorry, this ended our block 1. We will now begin with block 2. Are you guys okay? Would you need a small break because it's almost been half an hour within the class? Hi, should we begin with the next block, which is block 2, which has 4 units, and we precisely have like 1 or 20 minutes. So we'll try to do 20 minutes each unit, 15 to 20 minutes. So this is block 2, which has 5 units. As I said earlier, that I'm briefly discussing the advertising agency because in this block, we will discuss in detail different departments of the ad agency. Advertising is all about the art of persuasion of selling products and services. So what agencies, how many people are involved here? We had a broad idea now. Now we'll go in detail with this. First unit will deal with account planning and client servicing, where you get familiar with the account planner, the person who is the bridge between the creative and the agency side. Then we will go on to research and campaign planning. This unit emphasizes upon the research, which they think is backbone or of all the brilliant campaigns. Then we'll go to ideation and copywriting. It will bring you to fundamentals of writing a good copy, how you can write a good copy if you wish to, and then we'll dig in unit 8 with media planning, which simplifies the much hyped function of advertising, which is called media planning. So it's a very hyped function. So is So friends, we'll start with block 2 here with unit 5. Before that, I'll just take a 2-minute break. If you want to take a break, if you want to drink water or something, we'll take a break. I'll just pause the recording here.